I was one of those people who got things done. Less talk, all action. Boxes ticked. I was always on. From the outside, I looked calm under pressure, moving with poise and patience, while everything inside me was rushing. I built a career that made perfect sense on paper, just as my grandmother had said I should. I had a corner office with floor-to-ceiling glass, and I stood in court where the stakes were high, but the repercussions blew back on lives far more seasoned than mine. The markers of success were all there, with competence and control and a polished exterior. From the outside, it looked like success, but inside, something was quietly unraveling. Then, one day, my legs gave out. The symptoms had been gathering for months. There was tightness in my throat and tingling in my fingers. Strange rashes came and went across my skin. The day I ended up in hospital, I could not walk in a straight line, and I could not answer the simplest questions about myself. It was clear that a threshold had finally been crossed. The emergency ward was crowded, and I waited for hours before the MRI machine was free. I half heard doctors murmuring about the possibility of multiple sclerosis, or perhaps it was only the echo of my hypervigilant mind. The next morning, the neurologist flung open the curtains and broke into my 10th hour of staring at the stark white ceiling in a frozen panic. He held up my scans and said the problem was my breathing. I could not comprehend it. I was healthy. I woke up at 5 a.m. each morning, buzzing with energy. I was always moving, always. Breathing was automatic, and I was smart. So how could I be so wrong about something so simple? It was not multiple sclerosis, thank the stars. I was chronically overbreathing. I had been living in a stress state for so long that my body had normalized it. I felt fine only because I hardly felt anything at all. I was impatient and always rushing, yet perpetually fine. I had been breathing as if I was jogging 24 hours a day for years. My body had been sending up smoke signals through a fog I could not see, and I kept trying to evacuate the emergency with my mind. But you cannot outthink a body that has trained itself to stay on guard, especially when the mind and body no longer speak the same language. The disconnect had become so complete that I could not interpret my body's warnings until they broke through in ways I could no longer ignore. That day in hospital was the moment when my mind finally caught up with what my body had been trying to say all along. I had ignored its call to stop until it spoke in the only language left, collapsing my legs beneath me and leaving me quite literally with nowhere to run. What followed was a slow pilgrimage into another way of inhabiting myself. Yes, I did the cliché thing and left law to become a yoga teacher. But that was only the point of passage. The reorganization of my life was gradual, and it continues to unfold more than 15 years later. This book begins there, with breath as a compass. At first, breath served as a diagnostic tool, and later, with nuance and personalization, it became a therapeutic ally and guide into the nervous system states that had been shaping my thoughts, feelings, and actions.